But we are completing the square when there is a coefficient for the x squared term. So this is when a does not equal 1. So that's the term in front of the x squared. Yep, yep. I'll show you, I'll remind you guys again where they are. Yeah. Hold on 1 second. I did not give myself any sample problems to work with. Okay. I thought that I had, but I had not. Okay. So here is the first problem that we're going to do. Example 1. We have y equals 3x squared minus 18x plus 23. Okay. We are going to start the process exactly the same way that we started before. So what is our first step? Subtract the 23. Okay. So just like before, subtract the 23. Okay. So we've got y minus 23. Okay. And this part is a little different because of the 3 as a coefficient, okay? What we're going to do is we're going to take the 3 out of both terms. We're going to divide it out. Does that make sense? Okay? Yes. We're not going to divide the x, okay? Just the 3. So it's almost like taking a GCF out, but not quite, because that would involve taking an x out. So it's not a GCF. We're just taking the 3 out. Because what we want to do is we want to make the process like the other ones, okay? So x squared minus 6x. You're welcome. And now we've got plus the blank. So do you see how, aside from taking the 3 out, it's just like the other problems? Okay. So I still have the blank. It still looks like the other problem. All I did is I said, oops, there's a 3 there, and I'm dividing the 3 out of this term. I'm dividing the 3 out of that term. I don't have to divide it out of the 23 because I already got rid of the 23. I already moved the 23 over to the other side. It's actually done. It's gone. Okay? Yeah, I moved it. I moved it to the other side. Okay. So if I ignore the 3 for a second, what should I do? Divide 6 by 2. 6 divided by 2 is -3. And then what should I do with the -3? I should square it. -3 is 9. So what number fills in the blank? 9. Okay, now you have to be careful because it seems like you added 9 to the right side of the equation, but you did not. Because 9 is in parentheses, and what number is being distributed to those parentheses? 3. So if you have a 3 being distributed to the 9, what did you actually add to the right side of the equation? You actually added 27. So if you added 27 to the right side of the equation, what do you have to add to the left side of the equation? You have to add 27 over there. Do you see how this is different than what we did before? Okay, so we got to be careful. That's why I'm doing this in a different color again, is this is the hardest step of this part of the problem. Okay, this is the hardest step. All right. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and write down what I have. I have y plus what? Plus 4, okay. And then I've got 3. I got x squared minus 6x plus 9, okay. Now, the parentheses are still doing what they've always done. I'm still going to have parentheses squared. The way that I figured out what was in the parentheses is still the same as before. So what should go in these parentheses? You're close. X minus 3, because when I divided by 2, I got negative 3. So I should still say x minus 3. Okay? And then we want the y alone. How are we going to get the y alone? Subtract the 4 to the other side. So we added one extra step. That's all we did. We added one extra step, and it impacted the problem in a couple places, but we didn't make things drastically different. Okay. You do not distribute the 3 because you would be undoing what you just did. Okay? And we recognize the 3 in the front. What does the 3 in the front do? It's a vertical stretch. It's a transformation, right? So we don't want to put it back in the problem because this is actually part of the vertex form. It's part of, we recognize that, right? And the purpose of the completing the square is to take something from that standard form and put it into the vertex form so that we can recognize the vertex, so we can recognize the transformation, so we could do something like the domain, the range, the increasing and decreasing intervals, so we can do that stuff more easily than we could when it looked like this. This is not very recognizable. It's harder to work with. Yeah. Yes? The 6x, remember, this is the part where we said, oh, what multiplies to 9 but adds to negative 6? It's negative 3 and negative 3. And that's x minus 3 times x minus 3, which is x minus 3 squared. And we know that's going to happen every single time. We manipulated the problem to do that on purpose. That's what the process of completing the square is. When we were doing this work right here, we were manipulating that to happen. So when we get to this point where I've written this out, that's when I say, oh, whatever I got when I divided by 2, that's what goes in the parentheses squared. I can memorize that step and I can skip this part because it always does that. So basically what I did is I factored this. You can factor it each time if you want until you get used to that part, but it does that every time. So the negative 6 is actually part of x minus 3 squared. If you wrote it out twice and FOILed it, that 6 would show up again. Okay. All right, let's do another example. Example 2. Let me get another one. We're going to do y equals, I want to get one without a 3 in front. Seven x squared minus 14x minus 54. Okay. So what should we do? Add 54 to the other side. Okay. So I have y plus 54 equals, okay, minus 2. Why is it minus 2, not minus 14? We got to divide the 7 out from there as well. Okay, so minus 2x. Uh-huh. We're going to get there eventually. We're not quite there yet. So from these two terms, we divided 7 out. Okay. So what are we doing next? Dividing by 2. Negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1. And then -1 squared is 1. So I've got a 1 here, but I didn't actually add 1. Nope. I actually added a 1 where the 7 is distributing to the 1, so I actually added 7 to the right side. I thought I was fixing the problem in a good way, but I did not. So I actually added 7 to the right side, so I'm going to add 7 to the left side. And I get 61. Very good. Y plus 61 equals 7. Yep, and we know the 7 is going to be, we're going to have something in parentheses squared after that, right? And what's going to be in the parentheses squared? X minus 1. How did we know it's going to be x minus 1? When you divided by 2, you got -2 divided by 2 is -1, and so that's what always goes in the parentheses. Okay? All right, and then what should we do? Subtract the 61 back over. Yeah. Why would I teach you something and then be like, but it's not important, I'm not going to test you on it?
Well, is the only test on Monday?
Why would I teach you something and be like, but it's not important, I'm not going to test you on it? Huh? So tomorrow's just review. No new stuff. Oh, no video notes. All right, here's the next one. Just to finish the test review. Y equals -x squared plus 12x Hold on, let me make this make sense. It's hurting my brain. Minus 34. All right. So what is our first step? Add 34. Okay. So we got y plus 34. Now, it's not really a number, but it's going to act like a number because it's not just a regular positive x squared. So even though it's not like a 2 or a 3 or a 5, did you just send a Snapchat? Oh, okay. So, sorry, I got distracted because I looked at Keld and he was like, we still have to use the same process on this because that x squared is not positive by itself, it is negative, which means it's not technically by itself. So we're going to take the negative out, and we have to be careful. So we got x squared, and then what do we have to do with the next term? Minus 12. Good. Take the negative out of the next term too, and then I got my blank. All right, hold on 1 second. Okay, there we go. All right, what should we do? Divide by 2. Negative 12 divided by 2 is negative 6. Negative 6 squared is 36. Okay, so 36 goes in the blank, but we did not add 36 to the right side. What did we do? We subtracted 36 from the right side. So what do we do from the left side? Subtract 36. Okay. So on the left side, what do we have? Y minus 2 equals negative x squared minus 12x plus 36. So this is negative something squared. So what goes in the parentheses? Negative 6, x minus 6. Okay? And then what should we do? Plus 2. Add the 2 over. All right, I think you guys are ready to maybe do one from the assignment itself. Approximately 1 million. Oh man! Oh man! Look at his face. I gave a thumbs up like I was okay, but he did not even say thank you for my ice cream. All right, do you want to do number 3 or number 8? Because those are the intimidating ones. Wait, don't tell me number 1 when you look at number 3 or 8. Look at 3 or 8. 8, okay. Oh, yes, don't do number 1, do number 8. Okay, number 8. What is the first step on number 8? Subtract the 35. Okay. Y minus 35 equals, take x squared minus. All right, if you need 6 cups of flour and you only have a 1/4 cup measuring spoon to do it with, how many times are you going to have to measure? 24. So 6 divided by 1/4 is 24. Dividing by a fraction makes the number bigger, not smaller. 6 divided by 1/4 makes the number bigger, not smaller. Yes. Yep. So 6 divided by 1/4 is negative 24. Exactly right. Okay. So this is what we've got. Now what do we do? Divide by 2. Woo! I got bigger. But can I focus more? There we go. That's a little better than it was. Okay, so now we're going to do divide by 2. So we got negative 24 divided by 2 equals negative 12. Negative 12 squared is 144. So 144 goes in the blank, but we didn't really add 144. We actually added 1/4 of 144, which is 36. We actually added 36. Okay. Y plus 1 equals 1/4. Okay, I'm going to skip a step. I'm just going to do something squared. Ms. Rice is skipping a step. She's gotten tired of writing. All right, so we got something in parentheses squared. What should we write in the parentheses squared? X minus 12. Okay. Subtract the 1. Now, we're not done because what else do the instructions say to do? Find the transformations. I see 3 transformations. What are they? Okay, what else?
Oh, this sucks.
Right 12, down 1. So we're getting the transformations from this version, not from the original. Huh? Oh, just to get into vertex form. All right. For the next page, I want you guys to try these, but for 9 through 20, if you need to bring questions to class tomorrow and we need to do some of those tomorrow, that's fine. Don't feel like you're not going to get full credit, okay? So the ones that I want you to like do every single problem on, you should do 1 through 8 completely. You should do 21 through 24 completely. Yep. 1 through 8, 21 through 24, you should be able to do. But the ones that are on... But if you have a hard time with 9 through 20, I kind of expect that, and I will answer questions in class tomorrow without you being penalized on points, okay? Completion points. So 1 through 8 for sure. 21 through 24 for sure. 9 through 20, you should try them and be ready to ask questions, okay? Be ready to ask questions. All right. Are you ready to do some on your own, or would you like to do one more problem together? Do you guys feel like you support what Keld said, or do you low-key want to punch him in the face for saying it? You support it? You support it? I'm just checking. All right, I'm going to let you guys go ahead and get working.